Hello. Good morning, Maria Abanga here. Maria Abanga, Akamak, your psychotherapist specializing in mental health and relational wellness. Okay, wow, we are gradually getting to the end of this month and this year, 2020, spectacular year. So I started doing episodes of TherapistMAG, different reflections, and today is the ninth one, and I'm reflecting on shame. What can we reflect about shame, right? So, what do you think of shame? Shame, the good old Wikipedia says, is an unpleasant, self-conscious emotion typically associated with a negative evaluation of the self, withdrawal, motivations, and feelings of distress, exposure, mistrust, powerlessness, and worthlessness. Man, that is much, eh? Anyway, let's take it one after the other. An unpleasant, self-conscious emotion. Unpleasant, so it's not good, right? You don't feel good about it. Self-conscious, you are the one feeling that way. It's not the person who is saying something or doing something that is making you feel that way. You feel. So it is self-conscious. I can decide not to be ashamed about what people say. I give a damn. You can do that. Okay, well, so it is typically associated with a negative evaluation of the self. For example, if somebody says you are too fat, and so, but if they say you are too fat and then you start pricking your whole body, you start thinking, oh, I'm really fat, I'm ugly, now I'm going to be undesired, I'm worthless, I'm what, la la la. That is that shame, and it can do a lot of damage. Okay, and it can cause some withdrawal. People, because they say you are fat. Yes, I'll keep using that word fat because that's something people deal a lot with, this self-conscious about their body and all of those things. You start withdrawing into your shell, and you know what happens when you withdraw? Sometimes you look for comfort from somewhere else, sometimes from food, and then what happens? Boo! Okay, well, feelings of distress, you start feeling so unloving, unlovable, and la 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 la. You don't want to expose yourself to anything anymore. You don't want to be on social media because people are going to come and shame you or come and give you more reason to feel ashamed on social media. And so you withdraw from social media. You start to mistrust everything, everybody. Maybe the person who was calling you fat just had some issue and they're jealous of your chubby self, and then you start feeling like, I'm not the tiniest and I'm not the fattest. I'm somewhere in the middle and I'm just so cool, right? I flaunt it. Whether anybody feels it's too much or it's too little or anything, it doesn't make me feel anything related to shame. Okay, well, so now you feel powerless. Whereas there's something you can do. Do you feel like there's some fat on you want to lose? Get up, lace your shoes, and go hit the gym, right? Work on your diet, do all of those things. So what they actually said, it's a motivation. Do you feel like there's nothing and it's all envy, jealousy, and everything? You either give it back to them or you just keep living your life. After all, it's one life we have to live. Okay, so there's no point of feeling worthless because of something that makes you self-conscious. Anyway, since we are humans, we sometimes just have to deal with that. Let me tell you something that happened to me this morning, right? And I told this person I was going to use that on my talk. I mean, it's so interesting sometimes where I get my material from. Sometimes it's what people say, sometimes all of those things. So this is what somebody said to me this very morning. I will not chat with you until you put my poem back where it should be. It's not even their poem, it's a poem that I wrote. I promised to share my poem with somebody, and then they did something and I was like, well, you don't even need to see this poem at this moment. So I took my poem that, and so they are angry and they say, I will not chat with you again until you put my poem back where it should be. Can you imagine? What audacity is that? And then they conclude by saying, shame on you for saying what you just said. It just made me laugh so hard, and I told them, suit yourself. I have no problem dealing with shame. That's actually the topic I want to look at in my vlog today. And you just gave me some beef to muse on. Ha ha ha. Let me go do my sports. Is your chatting oxygen? Seriously, sometimes we let people have such power over us by their words and their actions. And then we start feeling so self-conscious, and then we go deep into this, and we have all of these feelings of unworthiness, all of these feelings of distress, powerlessness, mistrust. You start to withdraw. Oh, so I just wanted to use a very personal and recent example to show you how I deal with those kind of, I'll call them what? Snippets. Sometimes people throw things at you. Somebody was with me and saying, oh, the way you flaunt your body, you blah, 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 blah. Another person was saying, must you put everything on social media? All of that. What are those things? Those are things that can actually make you to start being so self-conscious and even being ashamed, or start kind of like second-guessing yourself. Should I really be doing this? Is my choice right? Should I be on social media this much? Should I be taking so many pictures? Should I be dressing up this way? Should I be? And then you start taking those decisions which actually make you shrink, which kind of make you live less than, because of what people have said. It had nothing to do with you. It is their own limitations, their own insecurity. Somebody told me the other day, I hope this your big book will not threaten me. Big book means somebody who is so learned. And of course, I'm very learned. I'm an intellectual. Am I supposed to stop being an intellectual because you feel threatened by all of that? That simply means you're not my level. So get out. So I told them, I hope your small book will not embarrass me. Because initially, I wasn't going to be concerned about, I've not even asked them their level of education. I don't do that, I'm like, people are people. Why am I supposed to be interested in your level of education from the very beginning? Like, those things should be there, you see. But in your conversation, I will know that level. And it's not necessarily academic qualifications that will tell you whether somebody is intellectually educated or not. No, so that's why I'm not interested in those things. I have many friends, I've never asked them, what did you study in the university? What's your level of education? You write it there, fine. You don't write it there. Anyway, so they already said that, and I already knew that is going to be a problem for them. Like, my big book? I didn't even know I have big book, because there are people who have double PhDs and all of those things. So my book is just normal book. No, I'm just doing a second master's. That's not big book for me. I have plans to go on, Anyway, so people have their issues. Don't take it too hard. Don't feel ashamed because of that. And you yourself, don't judge yourself. I stand in front of the mirror to see my progress with my abs and my arms and stuff, but not to see whether there's a pimple somewhere, and this and that, or there's a flap, there's a this and there's a that. Anyhow, my body is, I love it and I flaunt it. And I exercise for my health, not necessarily for six packs and all of those things. So please, if you are struggling with shame, either self-inflicted or brought upon you by the words or actions of another, maybe you need professional help processing all of that, right? So maybe you want to book a session with me. I'm a psychotherapist, and all my links are there. Do not suffer in silence. Reach out and get the help you need, right? So you can visit my website. There are a few testimonials there. Just don't put them. I don't update them. I'm like, well, but you can also check out my Facebook page, TherapistMAG. Follow me on Facebook, right? Instagram, I am magnetic. Look, start affirming yourself. There's so much good about you should be proud of. What are you doing with shame? What? Even shaming your children, shaming people. You're so much more than that, right? Frankly speaking, no. Anyway, since this is Christmas time, let me not dwell too much on this kind of things that can actually make somebody go there. Have a nice day, everybody. God bless us all.